we're going to look at measures of central tendency. And a good way to think about a measure of central tendency is to think about where a typical data value may be within the data set. And these are called descriptive statistics. Okay, descriptive statistics is just a fancy way of saying numbers that describe your data set. And there are three basic measures of central tendency: mean, median, mode. Now I have the definitions already written down because my handwriting is terrible. So I'm just going to show you one by one. Okay, the definition of mean. Okay, the mean is the numerical average. And this is something that I'm sure that most of you are familiar with. Okay, essentially, the mean or average, numerical average, is you add the numbers up and divide by the number of numbers. Okay, now we talked about sample and population. There are two different symbols. Okay, X bar. Okay, you say this X with the line over it is X bar. That is your sample mean. The population mean is the Greek symbol mu. Okay, mu, mu. Okay, it kind of looks like a cursive U. You can look at it that way. Okay, to find the mean, we add the numbers up, divide by the number of numbers. Well, mathematically, adding the numbers up. Well, this symbol here means you're going to add a bunch of data values together. X represents each individual data value, and then N is the number of data values that you have. Okay, so you take the sum of your data values and then divide by the number of data values. Okay, so that is how you find a mean. Okay, the median is the middle or center data value when the values are arranged in order. Okay, so you want to think about median as the middle. Okay, location is n plus 1 over 2. So which data value is the median? You can take the number of data values, add 1, and then divide by 2. And that'll tell you the number of data values you need to count into your data set once they're arranged in order to find the median. And we'll get to an example in a second. Okay, then the third one is the mode. Okay, that is just the data value that occurs most often. Okay, so we have just a list of data values. And we're going to find the sample, mean, median, mode for each of the following data sets. And we're going to round our final answer to one more decimal place in the given original data unless otherwise directed. Okay, so that is a general round-off rule, is that you go one more decimal place or one more place value than the original data is given. Okay, so in part A, we have a list of data. And if you want to find the sample mean, make sure you use the correct symbol, okay, which was X bar. And add the numbers up, divide by the number of numbers. Okay, so that should be pretty easy. And then to find the median, you have to make sure you put the numbers in order first. So you want to organize them in order. Okay, so put them in order, 26, 26, 30, 48, and 48. And then the middle number there is 30. Now to use the idea of the location being n plus 1 over 2, well, this has 5 data values in it. Plus 1 will be 6, divided by 2 is 3. So the third data value in would be the median. Another way to look at it is if you're counting in from both sides of the data set, if you count 1 in from each side, that's the 26 and 48, and then another 26 and 48. Oh, and there's only 1 left over, 30. Okay, so that is your middle number or the median. Okay, then the last thing is the mode. Well, the mode is the number that occurs most often. And 26 and 48 both occur 2 times. So they occur more than other data values. Now you do have to be careful. If just suppose that 30 occurred again, so all data values occur twice, then you would say there's no mode because no data value occurs more than others. If all the data values only occurred once, there's no mode because no data value occurs more than others. Okay, the next set of data, I'm going to suggest you take a minute and do this on your own, and I'm going to pause the video and I will show the answers now. And you'll see in this one what happens. First of all, the numbers are a little more annoying to deal with because of the decimals. But when you look at the median, trying to find the middle number, once you list the data values in order from smallest to largest, well, this one has an even number, 6, of data values. So when you do 6 plus 1 divided by 2, you get 3.5. So that's basically saying you have to count 3.5 data values into your data. And if you come 3.5 from each side, so 11.8 and 20, there's 1, and then 2, and then 3, there's nothing left over. So 3.5, you average the middle two numbers. Okay, so when your data set has an even amount of values, then you have to average the middle two. So what this is saying here, to get 3.5 for the location, you would average the third and fourth number. Okay, so let's just suppose you had a list of data that had, just suppose there were 100 data values in it. Okay, so if you had a list of data with 100 data values, well, 100 plus 1 is 101, divided by 2 would be 50.5. So you would average the 50th and 51st data value to get the median. Okay, so back to this example with the sample mean. Okay, remember using X bar because that's a sample mean. Okay, you add them, you get 91.9, and divide by the number of data values 6, you get 15.32. And notice I went one more decimal place than the 10th place because that's what the data was given as, the tenths. So I went to the hundredths. And then there's no mode because no data value occurs more than once.